नमस्कार, मैं आनंद कुमार खत्री, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर ऑफ जूलॉजी, गवर्नमेंट डूंगर कॉलेज बीकानेर। आज के हमारे लेक्चर का विषय है लिथोस्फीयर, पार्ट फर्स्ट। लिथोस्फीयर, rigid, rocky outer layer of the earth consisting of the crust and the solid outermost layer of the upper mantle. It extends to a depth of about 60 miles, 100 kilometers that is. It is broken into about a dozen separate rigid blocks or plates, plate tectonics. Slow convection currents deep within the mantle, generated by radioactive heating of the interior, are delivered to cause the lateral movement of the plates and the continents that rest on them of top of them at a rate of several inches per year. The outer shell, Earth's outermost rigid rocky layer, is called the crust. It is composed of low density, easily melted rocks. The continental crust is a predominantly granitic rock, granites, while composition of oceanic crust corresponds mainly to that of basalt and gabbro. Analysis of seismic waves generated by earthquakes within Earth's interior show that the crust extends about 50 kilometers, that is 30 miles, beneath the continents, but only 5 to 10 kilometers, that is 3 to 6 miles, beneath the ocean floor. At the base of the crust, a sharp change in the observed behavior of seismic waves marks the interface with the mantle. The mantle is composed of denser rocks on which the rocks of the crust float. On geologic timescales, the mantle behaves as a very viscous fluid and responds to stress by flowing. Together, the uppermost mantle and the crust act mechanically as a single rigid layer. This is called the lithosphere. The lithosphere, outer shell of the earth, is not one continuous piece but is broken out like a slightly cracked eggshell into about a dozen major separate rigid blocks or plates. There are two types of plates, oceanic and continental. An example of an oceanic plate is the Pacific plate, which extends from the East Pacific rise to the deep sea trenches bordering the western parts of the Pacific basin. A continental plate is exemplified by the North American plate, which includes North America as well as the oceanic crust between it and a portion of the mid Atlantic ridge. The latter is an enormous submarine mountain chain that extends down the axis of the Atlantic basin, passing midway between Africa and North and South America. The lithospheric plates are about 60 kilometers, 35 miles thick beneath the ocean, and 100 to 200 kilometers, 60 to 120 miles, beneath the continents. It should be noted that these thicknesses are defined by the mechanical rigidity of the lithospheric material. They do not correspond to the thickness of the crust, which is defined at its base by the discontinuity in seismic wave behavior, as cited above. The ride on a weak, perhaps partially molten layer on the upper mantle called the asthenosphere. Slow convection currents deep within the mantle, generated by radioactive heating of the interior drive lateral movements of the plates and the continents on top of them at a rate of several centimeters per year. The plates interact along their margins and their boundaries are classified into three general types on the basis of relative motions of the adjacent plates: divergent, convergent and transform और स्ट्राइक स्लिप। ये तीन प्रकार के उनके बाउंड्रीज क्लासिफाइड होते हैं। दिस इज द डायग्राम और ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन द प्रेजेंट ऑफ द अर्थ सरफेस। एक तरफ इसमें फीट्स में दिखाए गए हैं, दूसरी तरफ इसमें मीटर में दिखाया गया है, जिसमें हाईलैंड दिखाई दे रही है, लो लैंड दिखाई दे रहे हैं, सी लेवल दिखाई दे रहे हैं, ट्रेंच दिखाई दे रहे हैं एंड ओशियन फ्लोर एंड ट्रांजिशनल एरिया और ओशियन बेसिन दिखाई दे रहा है। प्रोडक्शन एंड डिस्ट्रक्शंस ऑफ अर्थ क्रस्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू द थ्योरी ऑफ प्लेट टेक्टोनिक्स। Oceanic crust is continually generated at divergent plate boundaries, typified by mid-ocean ridges and their rift zones from upwelling mantle material, and it is consumed in the subduction processes at convergent plates boundaries. In areas of divergence, two plates move away from each other. Buoyant upwelling motions in the mantle force the plates apart at rift zone, such as along the middle of the Atlantic Ocean floor, whereas magmas from the underlying mantle rise to form new oceanic crustal rock. Lithospheric plates move toward each other along convergent boundaries. When a continental plate and an oceanic plate come together, the leading edge of the oceanic plate is forced beneath the continental plate and down into the asthenosphere, a process called subduction. Only the thinner, dense slabs of oceanic crust will subduct. However, when two thicker, more buoyant subcontinents come together at convergent zones, they resist subduction and tend to buckle, producing great mountain ranges. The Himalayas, along with the adjacent plateau of the Tibet, were formed during such a continent collision. When India was carried into the Eurasian plate by relative motion of the Indian Australian plates. At the third type of plate boundary, the transform variety, two plates slide parallel to one another in opposite direction, and these areas are often associated with high seismicity as stress that build up in the sliding crustal slabs are released at intervals to generate earthquakes. The San Andreas Fault in California is an example of this type of boundary, which is also known as fault or fracture zone. Most of the Earth's active tectonic processes, including nearly all earthquakes, occur near plate margins. Volcanoes form along zones of subduction because the oceanic crust tends to be remelted as it descends into the hot mantle and then rises to the surface as lava. Chains of active, often explosive volcanoes are thus formed in such places as the Western Pacific and the Western coasts of the Americas. Old mountain ranges eroded by weathering and runoff mark zones of earlier plate margin activities. The oldest, most geological stable parts of the earth are the central cores of some continents, such as Australia, parts of Africa, and northern North America, called continental sheets. They are regions where mountains building, faulting, and other tectonic processes are diminished compared with the activity that occurs at the boundaries between plates. Because of their stability, erosion has also on the shield. Erosion had the time to flatten the topography of continental shields. It is also on the shields that geologic evidence of a crater scars from ancient impact of asteroids and comets is better preserved. Even there, however, tectonic processes and the action of water have erased many ancient features. In contrast, much of the oceanic crust is substantially younger, tens of millions of years old, and none date back more than 200 million years. The conceptual framework is in which scientists now understand the evolution of Earth's lithosphere, termed plate tectonic, is almost universally accepted, although many details remains to be worked out. For example, scientists have yet to reach a general agreement as to when the original continental core formed or how long ago modern plate tectonic processes began to operate. Certainly, the processes of internal convection, segregation of minerals by partial melting and recrystallization, and basaltic volcanism were operating more vigorously in the first billion years of Earth's history, when the planet's interior was much hotter than it is today. Nevertheless, how the surface land masses were formed and were dispersed may have been different. Once major continental shield grew, plate tectonic was characterized by the cyclic assembly and breakup of supercontinents created by the amalgamation of many smaller continental areas and island arcs. Scientists have identified two much cycles in the geologic record. A supercontinent region breaking up about 700 million years ago in late Precambrian time into several major continents. But by about 250 million years ago, near the beginning of the Triassic period, the continued drifting of these continents results in their fusion again into a single supercontinent landmass called Pangaea. Some 70 million years later, Pangaea began to fragment, gradually giving rise to today's continental configuration. The distribution is still asymmetric, with the continent predominantly located in the northern hemisphere opposite to the Pacific basin. Startingly, of the four terrestrial planets, only Earth shows evidence of a long-term pervasive plate tectonics. Both Venus and Mars exhibit geology dominated by basaltic volcanism on a largely immovable crust, with only faint hints of possibly limited episodes of horizontal plate motion. Mercury is intrinsically much denser than the other terrestrial planets, which implies a larger metallic core. Its surface is mostly covered with impact craters, but it is also shows a global pattern of scrapers, suggesting shrinkage of the planet associate perhaps with interior cooling. Apparently, essential to the kind of plate tectonic that occurs on Earth are large planetary size, hence high heat flow and thin crust, which eliminates Mars and pervasive crustal water to soften the rock, which Venus lost very early in its history. Although Earth is indeed geologically active and hence possesses a youthful surface, Venus' surface may have been completely renewed by global basaltic volcanism within the past billion years, and a small portion of the Mars surface may have experienced very recent erosion from liquid water, a landslide. Thanks.